and the game's back on. The drums would be over here going rat-a-tat-tat, and the horns would be over here going doo-doodly-doo. And then I jump up with my tuba going ah! Hey! Whoa! Good job, brothers!
Hey everybody, this is Brian Roberts. I directed the Mueller segment of this show, and this is one of the newspapers that we did for the Mueller segment. It was created mostly by Joe Spataford, our concept artist, and the exception to that is the picture in the middle, which Tim Hodge actually made, because when he read the script, he said, "I've got to draw the picture of the turkey with the head of a cat." And so Tim took that job on for himself. But then all the text and everything was designed by Joe. And in typical Joe fashion, he had a lot of fun with it. Where it says, "Purdy Strange Turkey" and the Bristol Snoop, that was in the script. But everything else that's on there was just Joe being crazy. Talking vegetables, living in London, scientific evidence proves ideas are good. And then all that text off to the left, you know, usually if you had a thing like this, it would just say blah, 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 because the audience is never going to actually be able to read that text. But Joe thinks it's funny to tell little stories in those places of text. So, and here's another one of these things. Again, the only thing the script said was stapler attacks on the rise. Joe drew the little picture of the guy on this one. And then if you see the headline at the bottom, it says, "Elephant Man looks more like rhino," except it's spelled wrong. And it doesn't matter because, you know, hopefully when you're looking at this in the show, you're not going to be reading the line about the rhino. You're going to be reading about the stapler attacks. Photoshop doesn't have spell check, so we just kind of let it go on this one. And this is the final newspaper that we made. This one has a picture of George Mueller that was mostly taken from the concept art. It was painted up to look like an old woodcut engraving, since they wouldn't have had photographs in their newspapers during this day and age. Bigfoot buys shoes. He wears a size 24. So it's funny that here the Bristol Snoop finally has a true story in it, except then it also still has its stories about Bigfoot buys shoes. Much like modern tabloids, there's an element of truth and an elephant. And there's an element of truth and an elephant. And time travel's not possible. Hey everybody, this is Brian Roberts. Here we go, through the door, whoa! Hey, so here's some of these little portraits that were taken from the concept art for these characters, the orphans. There's, of course, Laura and Annie. Annie's voice is done by Mike Naraki's daughter, Allie, now, and she does such a great job. I don't know where that painting came from. I think it's been around for a while. If you look back at some of our old shows, I think you'll find it in other places. Here's more orphans. That's a little carrot girl. She's from Jonah. That's where we got that model from. Same with this guy. That's actually Aaron from Babysitter in Denial. And here's Junior and Annie again. They like Annie most, so that she gets 2 pictures up. I believe that painting was new for this show. It's a beautiful still life that Joe did. Whoa, piano, hey! Ooh. That piano's from Sherlock Holmes from the ice cream parlor in that. There's Gordon. That's fun. And they like that carrot girl, so she gets 2 pictures as well. And whoa, hey, nice portrait of George and Mary. David Pitts, the producer's daughter, Rachel, did the voice for Mary in this show and did a great job. And up in, stop right there. That's on the bottom. That's a picture that came from the barber shop in Minnesota, Cuke. That's the barber's mother. Somehow she made it in here. And then off in that corner there, and I don't think you ever see it in the show, but that's Blind Lemon up there in that picture. And I just think that's great because I love Blind Lemon. Oh, and it's backwards, so you can't read what it says. Not that you would have been able to anyway in the show because you never see it. So there you go. That's a tour of George Mueller's house.
That's it? One guy? No problem. When do we start? Let's enter
Lance and Turtle, dance, dance, dance. Lance and Turtle, aloha Lance. Lance and Turtle, dance, dance, dance.
Hold that thought.